All right, so here's another handout about causes of confusion in text. And we're going to make sure we get the target right away. And the target, once again, is identify common causes of confusion. So if you've already printed this off, make sure you write that down somewhere so that you can have it handy. And notice that I put my name on it and today's date, which is 10/29, and I just put a number in here for period. Essentially, you put what block of the day that you come to my class. So completing this is a lot easier than the earlier handout about causes of confusion, because this isn't so much about the relationship between signs of confusion, causes of confusion, and fix-up strategies. This is more about just brainstorming about times that people could be confused when they're reading. So the directions are, first thing, think about each of the places where you read. So each of the classes, like in English class, what kinds of things do you read? List the different types of text that you read in those places, and then brainstorm ideas about why these texts are sometimes confusing. So I noticed that that's misspelled, so I'm going to fix that real quick. And that's a common cause of confusion, misspelled words. So maybe we could already put that down here. Misspelled words. Okay, so in English class, let's think about what types of texts we read. So let me see, one example is already here, poetry. So you read poetry in English class. You read, let me see, arguments in reading or in English class. You read chapter books sometimes. You read cause and effect texts. These are all types of things that my students came up with for types of text that they read in English class. So we can read short stories in English class, news stories, descriptions of language concepts. Oops. And other stuff too. So we'll just end it there. We don't need to have an exhaustive list. We just need to have a list of a few things you read in English class. And so then we need to think about why those texts are sometimes hard. So we can think about, okay, figurative language is why sometimes those texts are hard. Big words make them hard. Unfamiliar language. Sometimes, sometimes finding words in glossaries and other resources it makes things hard. And so another thing we can put in here that we read sometimes in English class is dictionaries, glossaries, and captions, all kinds of stuff. So, and these are a few of the reasons that those texts can be hard. Like I said, we don't need an exhaustive list. So you could go ahead and take some time on your own and complete the types of things that you read in math class. Maybe read about some word problems or something like that. And maybe there's specific reasons why those texts are hard. So you put, a few of the texts you read in here, and then why those texts could be hard in this box right here. So, and then do a brainstorm for biology class, and the same thing. Maybe you read some sciencey texts. You could put some of the topics you read about, or you have read about recently in biology class, and then some of the reasons why those texts couldn't be hard to read and comprehend over in the far right column. In history class, let's do a few of those things together. Let's say we read history books. We can read some biographies, autobiographies, which you could argue are the same thing, but we could read articles. Let me see, what else could we read? We could read speeches, letters, and I'm sure all kinds of stuff. But we'll just end there. And then, what are a few reasons why those things can be hard? Well, sometimes we have old vocabulary, like the words have changed. Sometimes the names of places and people make things hard, and events. Like battles, any number of those names are many of the reasons why those texts can be hard. We could use, speaking of words that we may or may not be familiar with, we can use some of our vocabulary terms in here. We could say archaic. Instead of just saying old vocabulary, we could say archaic vocabulary. And let me see. And we could put dates in here. Sometimes dates can be hard to comprehend and make text harder to understand. So you put stuff in here for history class, for Freshman 101. What are the things you read in Freshman 101? Either texts or topics that you read about, and then why those things are hard. And then in your free reading time, what do you read in your free reading time? Maybe you read short stories, or even social media type stuff. And then you could list a few of the reasons why that could be hard to comprehend. So that you'll have why these texts are hard, types of things you read, or you read in those classes, and then, or those scenarios, and then types of text scenarios. And then you take the items from why are these texts hard, and you'll copy them. So I'll Copy. And then we'll look at this other document that we saw in the last video, where it has our signs of confusion, causes of confusion, and fix-it strategies. And we can take that and paste it into our causes of confusion. So and we could go back here and get some more causes of confusion. Paste or write, handwrite if we printed these off, that into causes of confusion. And so that's how we can identify common causes of confusion. Make sure that you get examples for all of the scenarios: English class, math class, biology class, history class, freshman 101, and free reading time. Notice I didn't complete them all because I left something for you to do. And then make sure you get it turned in for credit.